Hello.
Hello, Adrian.
Okay, so
Hello.
there apparently are a lot of Adrian Shields.
You're cloning yourself.
Yeah, but I'm really sorry, guys. There's been a few technical glitches, and one of them was the email reminders, and the other one is this that everyone's called Adrian Shields. So please go ahead and change your name back.
How
Uh,
did you do that? I've never seen that before.
so I thought I was being clever, and I copied the link from directly from Zoom and put it in the Google reminder, the Google Calendar reminder. But I didn't realize that was personalized to me. So, hey, we're all Adrian Shield.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Wow,
Anyway, welcome
crazy.
everybody.
Good
It's been a
morning.
while since I've used Zoom, so bear with me as well, please, guys. We've actually got a lot more people than I was expecting as well, so that's going to be interesting. Um, so yeah, for everybody who's just joining, you're not Adrian Shield, so feel free to just rename yourself to whoever you actually are. And I'm sorry about the emails. There's been a few glitches, but don't worry, we'll get it right next time. All right, so I'll just give it a few moments for all the other Adrian Shields to join us. Then we... Oh, man. All
Hello,
right.
hello.
And feel free to take yourselves off mute and just say hello while we're waiting for everyone as well.
Where is the setting for one's name correction, may I?
If you go over your own,
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. The
just
dots.
three dots, and I think you can rename it from there.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to, if you want to call yourself Adrian Shield, I don't mind.
I could definitely think of worse things.
And I've definitely been called worse things. All right, so there's a few more people coming in. I'll give it one more minute and then we'll get going. So, well, thank you everybody for showing up. There's a lot more people here than I was expecting, which is a nice surprise. So I guess I better perform. But I'm going to try and keep it very informal, very casual. I will ask though, if you can keep questions until we sort of pause for questions, just because I've got a lot of stuff to get through. There will be Q&A time at the end. And yeah, if you want to drop the questions in the chat, we've got the Q&A feature. I don't think we've got the Q&A feature, but yeah, just drop them in the chat and I'll try and sort of go through that at the end and make sure I capture them all. But I will, if I have to hang around for a little bit longer at the end to answer any questions, then I'll do that as well. So, okay, I think we got most people in here. So let's get going. First of all, so I don't have slides. I'm trying to get away from slides, but I do have a document that I'm going to work through. And I'm going to share that document with you all. So actually, let me do that now. Oops, let me just copy the link. Drop that in the chat for you. You don't have to open that now, but that I'll send it to you anyway as an email after the event. So,
That's good.
all right, where's everyone gone? Let me share my screen.
Offenders who are in our prisons, out of them and out of our country.
Oh, could everyone just pop themselves on mute as well? In fact, I think I can do that. Can I do that?
Over the past year or so, we've asked for a royal commission.
I'm going to mute you all, okay?
Okay.
The entire criminal justice system at this moment in time.
I'm going to try and mute you all.
It's not just prisons, it's probation, it's the court, it's the...
All right. I'm muting most people. Okay. So can you guys all see my, oh, there it is. Can you guys all see my screen? Just give me a wave if you can. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share this document with you. There's a bunch of resources here. There's a couple of articles from LinkedIn. There's the image sizes, which might help you with your own newsletters and other stuff on LinkedIn. There is a custom GPT here to help you with hooks. There is, I put this in here because probably the next workshop I'm going to do will be about new email newsletters, and this is the tool that I use. So I just thought I'd put that in there anyway. And This is another custom GPT, which I'll show you towards the end, which will help you pull out ideas to create posts from your article. And this is if you want to book a call to find out how we can help you, and I'll talk about that at the end a little bit as well. So I'm just going to run through this quickly. So why create a newsletter? Now, a lot of people say, well, why would I need a newsletter if I've already got an email newsletter myself? And the answer to that is more is better. So first of all, the more media type that you're on, the more the platforms, the more places that people can find you, the better, because some people prefer reading on LinkedIn, other people prefer email, other people prefer YouTube. So the more you can spread yourself, the better. And it's not that onerous, actually. If you're already creating a newsletter somewhere else, or even a YouTube channel, then it's not that much more work to turn that into a LinkedIn newsletter as well. Okay, and as you're all probably acutely aware, the impressions are dropping on LinkedIn. Now, I don't think this is anything to panic about. I think it is temporary. There's a few reasons why. One of them is that there's so many creators now creating content on the platform. 3 years ago, the statistic was less than 1% were creating content. Now I've heard recently that it's, I don't believe it, but 50%. I don't believe that. I think it's more probably like 10 or 15%. And the reason for that is obviously with the advent of AI, people are using ChatGPT to just pump out, generic crap in the newsfeed. So, but I do think that will balance out because the cream always floats to the top. So as long as you're creating good content, eventually I think it will balance out. And the other reason is that LinkedIn, unfortunately, have now introduced a boost feature, which is in beta. And that means that you can basically pay money to get your post in front of more eyeballs. And of course, that means that you're competing with that. You're competing with people who are paying money. So guess what? Money talks. So that is going to have an effect, and it's all having an effect right now. But I do think it will balance out over time. And of course, all of the updates that LinkedIn are constantly making to the algorithm don't help. So, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold as well. So if I cough and splutter, excuse me. So this is a good reason to create a newsletter, because once you create a newsletter, you capture your audience, and they actually get, your subscribers don't just get a LinkedIn notification, but if they've enabled it, they get an email also to tell them that you have produced a new edition of your, every time you produce one, basically. And that's awesome, because if you're sending out your own newsletter, it's kind of potluck as to whether you end up in spam or not. Hopefully you don't, if you're producing good emails and following all the rules. But when LinkedIn sends an email, it's not going to go to spam, because LinkedIn is ranked so highly with all of the email providers that email is going to land either in their inbox, maybe in their promotions or social media box, but there's a much higher chance that they'll see it. So it's a really good way to let people know that there's a new piece of content. And you can, like I said, you can easily repurpose it into your own blog, an email newsletter, a YouTube video, and several posts from one newsletter, which I'll show you as well. You also get a silver bullet the first time you can create, I believe you can create up to 5 different newsletters. I wouldn't recommend doing that because you'll probably just confuse your audience. But the first time you create a newsletter and you publish the first edition of it, it sends an invitation to all of your followers and all of your connections to subscribe to that newsletter. So if you get that right, if your audience is engaged and the title is compelling and it's a subject that people really want to know about, you can get a lot of subscribers overnight. When I first did this, I think I had less than 20,000 followers, and I, created my first edition, and I got 2,500 subscribers in 24 hours. So it's like over 10% is doable. So it's really, really, it's great. And if you've already got a LinkedIn newsletter and you created it a while back when you had a smaller audience, or maybe it wasn't that good and you think you could do a much better job, it might be worth considering recreating it, creating a new newsletter with a much better, title and description, all that stuff, and just trying this again, because you'll probably pick up a lot more subscribers than you did originally, especially if you've been growing your network and your followers. And the last thing is SEO. When you publish any article actually to LinkedIn, it automatically ranks highly with Google, because Google favors LinkedIn. Google sees LinkedIn as an educational content platform. So the articles that are published on LinkedIn are way more likely to get found, by SEO on Google than your own publications, unless you're an absolute SEO, expert and you know how to do that, which not many people are. Then it's excuse me. Then it's something that you should really consider. Okay, so I'll stop quickly. Actually, has anybody got any? Let me just stop sharing so I can see you guys. I know I rushed through that pretty quickly. Does anybody have any questions so far? Just put your hand up or your digital hand. Happy to just answer them. No? Right. And just quickly, only a few of you have got your cameras on, but who already has a LinkedIn newsletter? Just put your hand up. Okay. And who's thinking about creating a LinkedIn newsletter? Okay. And one last question. Who's the people who have a LinkedIn newsletter, who thinks it's doing well? Okay, there's a couple.
Can I share quickly, Adrian?
You can.
4 days ago, I created my first newsletter with one article. It was on November 2nd. And today, I just looked now, because you told me to, almost. I have 1,773 subscribers.
Wow.
Wow, didn't know that. Thank you for telling.
Yeah, awesome. So
4 days.
yeah, and that's a captive audience now, because every time you produce a new one, they're going to get a notification, and as long as you're putting out good stuff, they're going to keep reading it and you're going to hook them in. So yeah, well done.
Thank you for sharing new information. I just tried it out and it obviously worked.
Yeah, great. Okay, so I know a lot of new Adrian Shields have come in. Sorry about this, guys. Everyone's called Adrian Shield. You might want to rename yourselves, but I've got 2 people with their hands up. I don't know who you are, except that one there, but please go ahead and speak.
Yeah, I just was going to ask, you mean that if we create a new letter and we send it as an invitation, the first newsletter gets a lot of attention, but is it continuously keeping up with this
Yes, it
support
does.
to volume every time I produce a new article or something?
Yes, so 2 things happen. You're absolutely right. When you produce that first edition, that's when the notification goes out to everyone. Also, every time someone follows you, they get a invitation to, I believe they get an invitation, or I don't know if it's follow or connect, but they get an invitation also to subscribe to your newsletter. And then obviously each time from then on you publish a new edition, everybody gets a notification and an email if they have that enabled, and most people do.
And that goes for articles or
No.
or posts or just anything that
this is only your newsletter article.
newsletter.
Yeah, so you can have can have articles on their own,
Mm-hmm.
or you can have newsletter articles. And the newsletter articles, basically, it's a way of bunching articles together under a common theme, but only those will send the notifications. That make
Okay.
sense?
It does, but I'm just realizing that probably this is what I've been doing wrong for many years, because I've created a newsletter years ago. And yes, I created some articles in the beginning, but then I was just posting smaller things or different things. And I thought that the attention I'm getting is just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's why I'm joining your webinar today, because I just don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
So is there any kind of thing that any button that I need to click to make sure that it actually goes out as newsletter, not just a post?
Yeah, I'm going to walk you through it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you'll see that. Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Thank you so much. And by the way, my name is Dorota, not Adrian.
Yeah. If you want to change it, click the
Yeah.
3 little dots on your image, on your,
Mm-hmm.
and you can change it. So we've got like,
Okay.
but don't worry about it. We've got at least 50 Adrian Shields in here anyway.
Okay.
One just came in.
Thank you.
So one more question. There's another. Oh no, I think that's the same one. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I will move on. Let me show my screen again. All right. So that's the resources. That's why. And how. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through how to do this. So I have got. Let me move this out of the way. I have got my. So I've had some technical fun today, but this is what I do first, right? So I always create an article in a document, and you can see this. This is just what I do, and I do that because it helps me to just I like using Google Docs. You can do it in Word as well. I just find Google Docs is way simpler, and it just gives me that idea of how everything's going to look, and I can work through it rather than do it directly in LinkedIn or in my in my website or my email tool. So I basically put this into the document. I get it already. You don't have to use it. The only image that I recommend you absolutely do use is this one, and this is the banner image. And the dimensions of this, if you use Canva, don't trust it, because the dimensions should be 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. So in Canva, I'll just show you quickly. If you try and create this in Canva and you try and find a, let's do this. Oh, do this, sorry. Type in. Then you'll see it says LinkedIn article cover image, but the dimensions are wrong. It's 2000 by 600, which is wrong. So don't do that. You're better off using a custom size, or I think you can use a YouTube thumbnail, but I would just put in custom size and type in 1920 by 1080 and go from there. Okay. And then you can just do whatever you do. Excuse me.
Hey, Adrian, really quick, do you recommend using the same image for the most part consistently every time, except changing the title of it?
I would. So my, complete transparency, guys, I created my newsletter way back when, and the last edition that I created was in 2023. So I'm reviving mine because I know how valuable it is now. And my plan, Lisa, is to use this background, update the text, and update this image here. And this image is actually AI generated. I've figured out a way of just doing really cool AI generated images. Easy for me to say. And so I'm just going to keep like updating the image, but it's good to have you on there, because especially if you're, if you're a one-man band, if you're a coach or a consultant and you just work on your own, then you're kind of the product. So people want to see you. So that's why I do that. So I have this sort of template set up in in Canva, I update the text, like you said, and then I put myself or an AI generated version of myself in here. Now,
Perfect. Thank you.
you'll notice, so I would love to have called it this, How to Beat Declining Content Views with a LinkedIn Newsletter, because I think that's way more compelling, right? But I've given it quite a kind of boring title. And the reason for that is for SEO, because you've got to think because this, when I publish it, this should end up in the URL, the LinkedIn URL, which is really important for SEO. So make sure that the title is like, just think about what would somebody type into Google if they were trying to find out about this subject, right? So for me, it's, well, how do I create a LinkedIn newsletter? How to create a LinkedIn newsletter. So that's what I used, okay? And you can use ChatGPT to help you with this, to just figure that out, but you know, use your brain as well, and just come up with something that is very, very searchable. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go to LinkedIn. And okay, so the first thing to do, let me turn on my cursor actually. Give me a second. Oh, sorry guys, just one moment. Turn on my cursor tool. Oh, there it is. All right, should just help you to see my cursor. So the first thing you want to do is from your home page, click on Write Article. Okay, and just to prove it, I've been posting, you know, not massively regularly, but I've only got 4,000 impressions. Normally that would be like 40 or 50,000. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Apparently I've gone over 100 participants, so I'm going to have to apologize to the people who are trying to get in, because we've got over 100 people in here. All right, so you go here and click on Write Article. Okay, now the first time you do this, you'll see this has already put it under my newsletter which is called LinkedIn Mastery, which I think I could do a much better job on the name of, but anyway, I did this a few years ago. But what you would do, so check here, and you could just, well, it says who I'm posting it as, but here you will have this option to create newsletter. Okay. Just give me a second. So there's people trying to join. To create newsletter. So this is what you would click that. Then this comes up. And this is where you put in the title of your newsletter. Now, this isn't the individual article. It's the overall newsletter. But again, you want to give it a good SEO style title. Okay. So you would put that in. So, you know, I'll put SEO title, and then you should select this. Now, this doesn't matter too much. It's only to give your audience an idea of when to expect your newsletters. Whether you put daily or monthly, it's not going to hold you to that. It's not going to, but I would say, you know, try and pick something that you can actually stick to, and you can always update it later. So maybe you want to start monthly or bi-weekly. And then if it's doing well and you're really enjoying actually creating the newsletter, why not switch to weekly? Daily would probably be a bit much, but there you go. So I'm just going to say bi-weekly. And again, think, you know, just going to put awesome SEO description. So something, you know, really, that's going to be really good for Google to get its teeth into. And then upload an image. It can be an image of yourself. It's 300 by 300 pixels. It can be your logo. It can be whatever you want to put in there, but you do have to have an image in there. I think it's mandatory, but if not, I highly recommend it. Okay, then you would just click done, and then you can, you know, go on to the next page. So obviously mine's already done, and you can, I think I can switch it from. No, I can't. I thought I could switch it just to a normal article, but I'm not going to do that anyway. All right, so the first thing we've got to do is upload the image, and I will, where's that? Workshops, newsletter. This one, yeah. So you upload the image that I've already got ready, click on next, and that's done. Then we're just going to copy the title from here. And we're going to copy the subheading and put that there. Now it's turned that back into just normal text. And you don't have to have a subheading, by the way. So I'm just going to change that back to a subheading. Okay, and then we can literally copy and paste. So if I just copy this whole article here and Control C, and I just Control V, it will put everything that I've got in that document straight into here. So you can see how easy that is, right? Now, the only sort of limitation with this is the size of the images. It always makes them the width of, let's see if you never used to be able to. Yeah, there's no way to resize them. Now, I would recommend that you use alt text. Now, alt text is for visually impaired people, but it can also be good for SEO again. But as a minimum, just write a description of what it is. I'm not going to do it because it'll take ages, but write a description of whatever images you use. You don't have to use images. I'm using images in this newsletter because it's a kind of a how-to newsletter. So it's going to help for people to see the images. But yeah, you can see like this is much bigger than I would want it to be. I don't know. Oh, I can change. Oh, yeah, I can. So I can make some of them smaller. Oh, cool. So yeah, I'll leave that one as it is. So yeah, but you can't sort of size it to how you want, which you probably can do on your website. So that is one of the limitations. But you can see how easy it was for me to just copy and paste, and it's put everything in straight in here, pretty much as I want it to be. Okay, so obviously I would go through and check this, make sure everything looks good, so on and so forth, and then I'm going to click on next. And right, this is super important, guys, and I should have mentioned this earlier. Apart from creating your newsletter ahead of time, create a post about it ahead of time as well. And I'm just going to go back to my document, and I've done it already. So this post is basically, it's going to go into the newsfeed. The article itself won't unless people click on it, but the post goes into the newsfeed. So it's important to get this right so you get as many views on it as well. And the part of the post that matters most is these 3 lines here. These are absolutely critical. And this is basically the hook, right? And people do this different ways, but this is the way I recommend it. That you always, the first 3 lines, excuse me, because they're the ones that are going to show above the image of the post. That the first line is no more than 55 characters, and you can check that by doing this. You go to tools, word count. Here it tells you how many characters it is, 45. Okay, so that's good. It's less than 55, and this one should be less than 50. Well, I don't need to do that again because I can see it's less than 50. All right, and one line space between them. So hook, line space, and then this line is to create intrigue. So what you've got to think is this is what they're going to see in the newsfeed, and then they're going to see the image below it. They're not going to see all the rest of this text. Okay, And you want this to be as, you know, you could argue that this isn't that intriguing, but anyway, I think it's okay. But, you know, this wants to stop the scroll. So your content is going to get less impressions. You know, anyone in my audience is going to be worried about that, right? So it's going to catch their attention. And then I'm, you know, being a bit of a pessimist, not a pessimist, but I'm being, you know, a bit harsh with it. I say it's a fact, get used to it. And people are going to be like, think, well, why? So that they'll either click the little more link that appears, or they'll click on the image, which will take them then to the actual article. Okay, so this is critically important, and that's why I have included this HookForge GPT for you here, so that you can go and play around with that and help it create hooks for you. And as with anything ChatGPT, never copy and paste. Never take what ChatGPT says and drop it in the newsfeed. Always put your own thought into it, humanize it, make it your own, because it's ChatGPT. Okay, so the post is really important. So I'm just going to copy and paste this post, which I already had ready, of course. And I'm going to paste that there. All right. So the post is ready to go. This is the image it's going to show, which is the cover image of the newsletter. And if people click on here, once it's actually published, then they will get taken to the article. So I'm going to just do this live and click publish. Okay, so you can share it on Facebook, on Twitter, you can share it in groups. I don't recommend groups, to be honest with you. You can message people about it. You can drop the link different places. It gives you all these options. But basically, that is now published, and all 5,257 of my subscribers have just had a notification that I've published this newsletter. So hopefully I'll get a lot of views. And the difference between publishing a standalone article and a newsletter is huge. When you just publish a standalone article, you'll be lucky to get 100 views and, you know, minimal engagement on the article. But when you publish a newsletter, if it's good, if you've got a good subscriber base, you can get thousands of views. And sometimes I've had more views on my newsletters than just posts in the newsfeed, which is amazing. And the beauty is these don't go away. Posts in the newsfeed fade. They have a lifespan of, you know, between 2 to 14 days, and then they just fade into the ether, you know, unless people are on your profile looking for them. But
Adrian?
these stick around. Yes.
Adrian, a quick question. When you were talking about sharing on groups, was that were you saying to share on groups in terms of republishing it, or not to share on groups? I'm sorry.
I don't. I think groups are just wildly overrated. Groups are good for targeting, for finding people, but groups on LinkedIn are generally, in my experience, abused. They're not like Facebook groups where they're pretty, you know, on Facebook, people are good at policing the groups, and there's a lot of features in the Facebook groups, but LinkedIn groups lack features and lack control. Any group that I'm in, it's just spam. People are just like pushing their stuff out there and trying to get, you know, clients. And so I really don't engage in groups at all because of that. I'm sure there are some good groups out there where you could publish them, but for me, it's like life's too short. You know, I just I don't have time to go and do that. So
Okay, thank you.
if you have the time, you can do it. So let's take some questions actually. Anyway, so Dorota, I don't know if I said that right.
Yes, thank you. You said the thing that everybody knows that ChatGPT product should not be copied and pasted, but I am not a native English speaker and I do use ChatGPT. for kind of formatting and polishing what I have written and where my thoughts and views are, my advices for my followers. I know a few things that are vividly and clearly visible from long distance that, oh, this is written by ChatGPT. So I usually delete them and change them, and sometimes even edit the ChatGPT product. But still, is it still going to be visible for some trained eye, or for technicians, or for LinkedIn algorithm that my product has a part of it as has some ChatGPT traces?
I can usually spot it 9 times out of 10, just because it's everywhere. But so you said English isn't your first language. I would use that to your advantage, Dorota, because who cares? Like, who cares about?
I do.
But other people don't, and it's actually quite endearing when you see a non-native English speaker writing in English and making a few mistakes, making grammar mistakes, missing words out, getting the verbs wrong. It's actually quite endearing to see that, and it makes people know it's human. People know it's not ChatGPT. So I actually would do it the other way around if I were you. I would be using ChatGPT maybe for ideation, maybe to get some help. I'm not saying I never use it. I have one content tool, one AI tool that I sometimes use for help when I'm short on ideas, but it's and I just saw someone say Grammarly helps. I wouldn't even use Grammarly because people are so tired of AI perfection.
Okay. So
like,
more genuine, more genuine, the better.
Yeah, just be human. People want to see humans, and I went through a phase of really trying to force AI to create content for me, and you know what? I've just stopped doing it. I write all my own content now, pretty much from scratch, because I enjoy writing, and if you don't enjoy writing, then LinkedIn's probably the wrong platform for you. And I find it's just better, and it's better received by people. So, and I can do it pretty quickly. I was probably spending as much time trying to make AI, fit my needs and my content as I do now just creating it myself. So I've gone, and I know quite a few creators have done that themselves, but I enjoy writing, so I just like to write.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lisa.
Yes. So I do a monthly newsletter through my CRM. Could I just use the same content in my LinkedIn so I'm not having to recreate everything, or is that too redundant?
No, do it. The only thing I would say, and I was going to talk about this, but I'll tell you now, is change it a little bit.
Okay.
Change some of the wording. Nothing huge, but just I didn't today just because of time, but make somewhat of a change. And what I do is, and I'll show you now actually, but in my articles on LinkedIn, I always put at the very beginning a very small line that says, click here to view the original content on my website, or something like that. And the reason I do that is so that, well, I do that, and I also do something technical, which I can't show you. Well, I can show you, but I'll probably bore you. But I use Google Search Console to index my article on my website before I publish to LinkedIn. So I make sure that Google sees my article, it knows it's there, and it's indexed it, it's searchable, before I actually publish to LinkedIn. And you can, if you do that without, so if you publish a blog article on your website, it can take 6, 8, sometimes 12 weeks for Google to actually get around to indexing it. But if you go into Google Search Console, and there's a link to it in the, if you, at the end, I'll show you, because I don't want to bore people with it, but I can show you how to do it. But if you index it using Google Search Console, it normally takes a day or two before it gets onto Google's records, basically, which is what you want. So ideally, you want it on your website before it's on Google, and you want a few changes, and then put a backlink from LinkedIn to your website so that Google knows, okay, it's the same author. Does that make sense?
Okay. It does, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, but
perfect.
and that's why I create the newsletter in a document first, because I can just copy and paste from that document to my website, to the email, to LinkedIn, to whatever I want to do.
Yeah, I do that too. I do that too.
I mean,
So, and it stems from my blog. I start with my blog post, and then I use my blog post to create my newsletter, add other things into a template. And so it would be helpful if I could just keep recycling it into a LinkedIn article too.
Yeah,
So,
and you can go back through your previous articles and start publishing them to LinkedIn as well.
okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Very helpful.
You're welcome. Georgie.
Hey, Adrian. In fact, that just reminded me of another question. So for the LinkedIn newsletter articles, do they need to be of a certain genre, for example, educational, as opposed to a post, which is conversational? That's the first question.
Generally, yes. They can be conversational or experiential. I mean, it's long form content. So when I say long form content, it's, a post should be a minute to consume max, whereas an article can be anything up to 20 minutes really, because it's people when someone's in the news feed, they've got the attention span of a goldfish. But if someone makes the conscious effort then to go and read an article, they're switching on their brain a little bit more, so they're prepared to spend a little bit more time to actually read something. So you want to make sure that it's engaging, obviously, but yet educational. LinkedIn is, at the end of the day, is an educational content platform. That's how they sort of position themselves, and that's how Google sees them. So I would go for educational, but it can be just stories as well. But even stories can be educational, right?
Edutainment.
Edutainment, there you go.
Yeah. Next question is, as you went to publish, there was all the options, share to groups, X, and the other one was share to everyone. Is that something, what are your thoughts on that?
Share to everyone. I think
Or share to your network.
Yeah, it does that anyway.
Oh, okay.
I think I maybe I went too quick, but I'm pretty sure I probably should have done it a bit slower and gone through and double checked, but I'm pretty sure that's automatic when you do it.
And
otherwise I just missed an opportunity, didn't I?
Yeah, there was also share to groups. And then the last very quick question, the boost feature.
Yep.
Haven't seen it yet. It's in beta. How much does it cost? What do we need to know about it?
So be very careful of the boost feature, because generally they want you to spend about $50 per post, which they say will get you about between 2,000 and 5,000 impressions. Okay. And you do get some limited options of setting up your audience, basically. They are very limited though. It's not like in Sales Navigator or when you're running actual ads. And what I would say is I would only boost a post if I knew it had done well organically. So if I post something and it gets 20,000 views organically, and I know it's got a great call to action, and it actually generates for me. Oh, bless you. And it actually generates leads for me, then then I would think about repurposing that, about posting it again and actually boosting it as a test. But honestly, I haven't done it yet. I will do it at some point. But I think if you just think you've written a great post and the boost option comes up, which it does, if you've got it in, I do have it now. And you think, yeah, I'm going to boost this, then basically you're gambling. Because you don't know how that post is going to be received. So I would only do it based on data, based on how I know a post has already performed in the past.
Cheers.
You're welcome. Bastian.
Yes, thanks, Adrian.
Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome.
I have a couple of questions. The first one is, what's the impact of a newsletter on your SSI? That's a quick one. And then the second one is, I do an article every Sunday. How easy is it to do a newsletter and article at the same time, or to basically use your article for the newsletter? What do you?
Okay. So the first question about the SSI, honestly, I don't know. I just don't know. And I wouldn't worry too much about it. Look, SSI is, it's kind of it's a metric that corporate salespeople use. Okay. It is important. It will help with reach and that kind of thing. If you get it above 75 and so on and so forth, but it's not the ultimate metric. People get kind of hung up on it. It's good to keep your eye on it and try and keep it above 75. But yeah, the honest answer is I don't know. The second, you've moved around on my screen. Oh, there you are. The second question, when you say article, do you mean just a normal LinkedIn article? Or,
yeah.
Okay. All I would do if I were you, Bastian, is stop publishing them as articles and publish them as newsletter articles instead.
Okay.
So create your newsletter for the first time, set it up like we went through earlier, and you'll get the video of this, the recording of this. And then, publish it as a newsletter, because you're just getting all those extra benefits of gaining subscribers, notifying them. It's like, so the views you're getting on your articles right now, Bastian, I would imagine are pretty low. You could probably 10x them or more by putting them as a newsletter. So it's a no-brainer to do it.
Yeah, because I think the one you just put out also comes in as an article on LinkedIn, right? Because I see them.
Yeah. It's still an article.
Oh, good. Yeah.
The only difference is it's now underneath the banner of my newsletter, which is LinkedIn Mastery. So it's grouped together with a bunch of other articles. So it's almost like, I don't understand really why LinkedIn still gives you the ability to just post an article and post a newsletter article, because the newsletter article, for me, makes an individual article obsolete.
Yeah.
What's the point when you get all these extra benefits with a newsletter?
Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. It's Adrian Scheel, number 32. The one who's smiling at me right now. I'm not sure of your name, but you're called Adrian Scheel on my screen. Dark hair, smiling a little bit. No? Okay. Then Dragisa.
That's me. I don't know why. Yes. I don't know why that came up as your name.
Oh, it's a long story. I've told it a few times, but it's my mistake, so I apologize. What is your name? Sorry.
Barry Atkin.
Barry.
And my question is.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and thanks for offering this. My question is there a recommended length of minimum or maximum for a newsletter?
Excuse me. There's no. I mean, the minimum. I guess it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is the value. Is it valuable? And I wouldn't want it to be more than 20 minutes for someone to consume. I try and keep it to under 15 minutes. And I believe, and we can look at it in a moment, but I believe you can, it tells you how long it takes to read under each newsletter article. So if it's like 30 minutes to read, you probably want to cut it down a bit.
But is 5 minutes okay? Like, what's the
5 minutes is great. I think 5 minutes is probably the sweet spot. Maximum, I would say 20, absolute max, if it's really a deep subject. 5 minutes is probably the sweet spot. 5 to 15 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Dragisa.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for doing this, Adrian. This is really great. My question's really brief. When you were talking earlier about the newsletter going out to the entire network, does that include also your followers and not just your connections?
Yes.
It does. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oops. All right. So there's a bunch of stuff in the chat. Let me see if I can. If anybody has put a question in the chat, do you just want to ask it out loud? Because I've kind of lost track. Like someone said, Clemency said, at what point do they become subscribers? So they have to click on subscribe, basically. So basically, when you send out your first edition of the newsletter, it goes out to all those people, and they'll get a notification asking them if they want to subscribe or not, and they click yes or no. Hopefully that answers your question. All right. There's no. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that one's been answered. That one's been answered about the maximum length. I think the maximum character length, I think it's 120,000 characters, something like that, which is a lot. You probably don't want to reach the maximum. That would be like War and Peace. Is it possible that we subscribe to each other's newsletters? Yeah, guys, if you want to put each other's newsletters in the chat, feel free to do that. Got no problem with that. Okay.
Adrian, sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
Hopefully a quick one. You said that it's good to send the post before publishing a newsletter. What should be the content of the post? What nature of it should it be, and how far from publishing the letter should it be posted? Like the same day, half an hour earlier, or 3 days earlier?
So there's two things actually. One of them I forgot to mention. I'm glad you said that. So when I got those 2,500 subscribers in a very short space, in 24 hours, basically, it's because I believe, and I can't prove it, but I believe it's because I was posting like clockwork. I was posting every single day something of value. So I'd already engaged my audience. You know, people were getting my content. I was very active, and I believe that's why I got so many subscribers. And if you're going to do this, I believe you should do the same for at least a couple of weeks. You should be doing it anyway, if you know, if you're on LinkedIn. But the post that goes with the actual article, you don't put it out before. You put it out as you publish the article. If you watch the recording back, I don't know where you've gone on my screen, but if you watch the recording back, you'll see that once I clicked next, and I had the option to publish, it's not obvious, but there was a place above the image where you can put some text. Now, I believe you can publish without putting text there, but you're missing a trick by doing that. So that's when I say put out the post before, it's not actually before, it's at the same time. So you kind of copy and paste the text of the post into the post about the article. I know that's probably a long-winded way of saying it. Does that make sense? Who was it who asked that question? I've lost me on my screen. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So let's go through some more of these. Average 2. Oh, there you go. Someone has just done some research. Said the average of 2 minutes and 15 seconds is good. I think that's a bit on the low side personally, but I think you want to, because the idea of this is you're pulling people from the news feed to get them to long form content. You want to get them like more engaged in your content. So personally, I would say go a bit higher, but if that's the average, okay. Someone said, should we include CTA as a user? Yes, you absolutely should. And let me share my screen and just show you. You'll see on mine. So right now, this is my call to action, and it's long-winded. And by the way, this is my call to action on this call as well. And I'm basically saying, I'm giving people options. I'm saying, whenever you're ready, there are 3 ways that I can help you. 1, join our client acquisition program that will teach you exactly how to use LinkedIn, basically, and everything that goes with it. 2 is a done-for-you outreach and tracking service. And number 3 is virtual assistant services, which we're just about to start offering. And basically, if you're interested in any of these, book a call. So I don't actually recommend doing this. I'm doing this right now because we're making some shifts in our business, and there are new things that I'm actually introducing. So I'm kind of putting them here as options. What I would normally do, or what I will do in the future, is have a very clear single call to action. Now, if you're a coach or a consultant, and you need to get people on calls to convert them to clients, that is fine. It's going to be more effective putting a call booking link here than it would be putting it on a post in the newsfeed, because if people read all this, if they come all the way down here and make it to the bottom, then you've kind of earned the right now to say, hey, you want to know more, book a call with me. But you don't have to do that. You can get them to take a separate action, like something else of value, and like keep them on that journey of value and journey of consuming your content. And if you get them to opt into something else, then excuse me, you can basically keep nurturing them before you actually make the pitch to get them on a call. But yeah, you definitely need to have a call to action at the end of every article. In fact, there should be a call to action at the end of everything. The call to action at the end of your posts shouldn't be book a call, because no one's going to do it. But it should be, even if it's asking people a question, asking people to comment, asking people to their opinion, or asking people to, offering them something of value where they go and click away. But there should always be a call to action. And the call to action in the article can be a step up from the call to action in a post, because like I said, you've got them away from the news feed. They're focused only on your article. They're consuming your content, and you've kind of earned that right. Does that make sense? All right, I know there's a couple more questions. I'll come to in a moment. I just want to show you one thing as well. What I was talking about earlier, if I go, this is the last one I did 2 years ago. Wow. So if I click on this, it's not a great article actually. You'll see this is what I do. Click here to read this article on my website. All right, so I put a link right at the beginning so that if they do click there, they go off to my broken website, apparently. All right.
And what's the benefit of people going to your website rather than reading your article here? What's the encouragement for?
It's just because, one is so that you don't get flagged for plagiarism by Google. So you're putting it back, you're creating a backlink from LinkedIn to your website, which is good anyway for Google. But it's to make sure that Google sees this and it knows, okay, it's the same author, right? And the other reason is, well, there's 2 reasons actually. Sometimes people prefer to just be on the website because you've got much more control of the layout on your website, so you make it easy to read. So some people might prefer that. And also, by getting them to your website, there's a higher chance that they're going to opt into something on your website. And it's always a good idea to be capturing people's email addresses and details, because apart from what you're doing on LinkedIn, we should all be doing emails as well, whether it's newsletters, email marketing, whatever it is. All of us should be doing that as part of our business, because we don't own our connections and our followers on LinkedIn, but we own them on our email list. So it's always a good idea to do that. All right, let me stop sharing again. Okay, I know. So this is the end of the session. I am happy to stay back and answer any questions. I've got nothing else to do, at least for the next hour. So if you want to jump off now, or you have some things to do, then thank you so much for joining. If you're interested in what we do and how we can help you, I'm going to drop a link to book a call, and we can talk about that in the chat. So feel free to book a call and find, there's so much stuff that we're working on right now. I'm really excited about where our business is going, and I'd love to have a chat with some of you. If you need to jump off, then thank you for coming, and hopefully I'll see you on. I'm going to be doing another one of these again soon, because I really love doing them. Actually, I've forgotten how much I love doing them, and I'll let you know when that is. And the replay will be going out soon. For anyone who wants to hang back, just hang out, ask questions, whatever, you're welcome as well. So I can see a lot of Adrian Shields are leaving now. All right.
Adrian, can I just ask a quick question?
Yes.
You mentioned email marketing being critical for everybody's business.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for quite a while. What happened about a week ago, actually maybe almost 2 weeks ago now, is what Google has done. And they have stopped related to spam. I mean, it hasn't affected me. I use Constant Contact, but I was looking at using a service to do some large mailings, like building a funnel, and they had to come to a grinding halt because of something Google has done. Can you shed some light on, because it all has to do with spam and cold emails and
Are you talking about cold email?
yeah.
It's it's such a minefield now that it's probably not worth doing it. I've kind of played around with it a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're kind of just upsetting people. You're getting into people's inboxes without their permission. Personally, I don't mind it. I get it all the time. People cold emailing me. I'm okay with it, because sometimes actually people offer me things that I'm actually interested in, and it depends how you do it, right? So there are so many measures in place, not just by Google, but by Yahoo and all of the big, Microsoft, all of the big providers, to prevent it, that it's really a minefield. And cold email, unless you are really techie, really know what you're doing, or you hire someone that does, I just wouldn't bother with it. When I talk about email marketing, I'm talking about to your warm list, to people that have actively opted in to your list, that want emails from you, that see you as a person of value, see your content as valuable, and they're happy to get it via email.
On that particular note, Adrian, what do you consider, and I know this is opinion, and there's probably a ton of different opinions on this question, but for people, I'm a consultant and I do training and stuff like that. And I've been at it a really long time, but I'm finding it really difficult to get through to people these days. And what do you consider to be a reasonable size mailing list? Like your warm contacts, my personal mailing list, not like what, building funnels, not that kind of thing, but just a personal mailing list. What do you think is a good size that an individual can have as a solo entrepreneur, or even somebody with one or two helpers in the business? What should we be aiming for so that we can have a reasonable expectation of getting business?
The sky's the limit. But
Of
honestly,
course.
even with just 500 or 1,000 subscribers, you can make money if you know what you're doing. If you have a valuable newsletter and valuable products and services, and you know how to make offers through email, you know how, like do Black Friday campaigns and things like that, you can make money. So But obviously, the more the better. The more your goal should be to get 1 million email subscribers. But even with 1,000, you can make money.
The trick is knowing what you're doing.
The trick, well, not just knowing what you're doing, but being a person of value, being valuable to those people. If you provide value, the more value you provide, the more people are going to be interested in paying money for what you have to offer if you genuinely solve a problem for them. Make sense?
Totally. I got a bit of a kick in the head, you could say, in the last couple of days, because somebody said to well, last couple of weeks, I guess, somebody said to me, you give so much value, but you're invisible. Why don't you talk about the value? And to me, it's always almost sounded like that would be really bragging. But now that I've had this kick in the behind, it makes sense if you don't talk about what you actually deliver, the outcomes and so on.
Yeah. If you're not going to brag about yourself, no one else is going to brag about you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Jonna, sorry, I know you've had your hand up for ages, and I know you had to, Craig. I'll get to you in just a moment.
No, that's okay. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you so much for doing this. This is hugely helpful, especially with all the questions from everybody. One of the questions that I put in the chat was around something that sounds kind of silly, but it's around the title. I heard everything that you said about how you should title your newsletter. But in addition to creating something that's compelling for people based on your value, is there an optimal length or a maximum character count, word count that you suggest to kind of tap into the right reach?
For the title?
Yes.
I mean, if you're going over sort of 10, 15 words, it's probably a bit long. Do not use ChatGPT titles because ChatGPT will, say LinkedIn newsletter, the superpower of blah, 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 with a colon and an M dash and everything else. Don't do that. But again, it comes back to what do you think someone would type into? So you notice that my title is just how to create a LinkedIn newsletter, right? But I would like to say more. I'd like it to be more compelling, but that's not what people are going to type when they're looking for things like that. So I don't think there's any limit, Jonna. It's just
okay.
Like put yourself in the shoes of the person that's going to benefit from this article, and if they were looking for it, what would they type in? Because then they're going to be way more likely to find it on Google, basically. So I did an article once, it's funny, someone mentioned SSI earlier, and I actually did an article on it, and it got, I can't remember how I measured it, but I know that it got so many hits from organic search, and I was really, really surprised, and it must have been the way I put the title in, because that's what people were typing into the search bar, and my article was, for that particular search term, was number 1 on the search page. So if you get it right, that I wouldn't worry too much about the length. I'd worry more about what are people typing into the search bar. And you can do some research on it. You can use tools like SEMrush. You can even just type into Google and it will start giving you suggestions, right? So yeah, definitely think SEO first when you're creating the title.
Well done. Thanks, Adrian.
You're welcome. Craig, you've been waiting ages. I'm really sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you for sticking around. So I guess the 2-part question around this audience building question. So like everyone else, I get these cold emails, and clearly they're coming from LinkedIn, scraped from a group I've been in, or Sales Navigator. I don't know how to stop it, but I get 5 a day probably.
Yeah, me too.
So any comment on that? But also my question was more like, strategically, you've got these 2,500 people that came in all of a sudden. Are you going to do anything other than just continue to put out content to contact them or to build your
Well,
audience with them?
My bad, but there is actually something I should have showed you. And for the people who left already, if you're watching the recording, I apologize, but I'll do it now. But there definitely are things that you should be doing, Craig. And one of them is, so there's things that you should be doing anyway, every day. Okay. And that is obviously putting out content, getting in the DMs, but also there are 5 checks that you should do every single day. The first one is really obvious. Who is trying to connect with you? If it's someone in your target audience, accept them and get into a conversation straight away. The second one is who is commenting on your content. Again, pretty obvious. If it's someone in your target audience, don't just like leave it in the comments. Reach out to them, connect, have a conversation with in the DMs. Third one is people liking or engaging on your post. Go through the list of people and do the same and reach out to those people. The fourth one is people viewing your profile, because they are clearly, they may not be, they may have stumbled across it, but the chances are they're checking you out for a reason. So reach out to them and say, hey, saw you view my profile, just thought I'd connect, love to help in some way if I can. You up for a bit of a chat? The next one is new followers. Check your new followers every single day, and if they're not, if they're not in one of the previous lists, then reach out to them as well. Connect, have a conversation. Right? Those are things you do every day. There's 2 more things. One is people opting in to your newsletter or your lead magnet or whatever it is. Go and hunt them down and reach out to them on LinkedIn. And finally, new newsletter subscribers, because you get, and let me show you, you get notified actually indirectly when people, excuse me. So from here, if I just click on this subscribers thing, it shows me all of the subscribers, right? But there is, I can't remember how we do it now. Oh yeah, if I go to, I think it's analytics. Let me go, yeah. Oh, there's the boost feature, look. I did this earlier, I can't remember, but there's basically a way to get to my, oh man.
Where are you trying to get to, Adrian?
I'm trying to get to the analytics to show you.
Analytics, oh.
Yeah. If I
Yeah,
go,
but Adrian, you probably have to be the premium customer. I recently stopped paying for the premium.
I am premium.
Because,
I am premium.
yeah, exactly. And if you are not premium, you don't get to see who's
Oh,
with your
okay.
profile.
Right.
So
got you.
that's, yeah, that's
Okay.
expensive.
I'm not sure if you do or not. I think for newsletters, you may, where is it? I can't find it, but there is a way to do it. Let's do that. Oh, here you go, view analytics. So I've got to go on the newsletter itself, click on view on. So I'll just show you how I got there. And it'd be interesting actually if someone who hasn't got premium could try this at the same time. So you go to activity, show all posts, find your newsletter here. And then if I click here, I think, yeah, it takes me to the overall newsletter where all the additions are. And then I've got this option to view analytics. And
in spite of the fact that you're not premium.
Well, that's what, if someone doesn't have premium and they could do the same to verify it, that would be good. But I think you get this anyway if you have premium or not. I think
it's, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. So it's telling me, look, I haven't been doing anything for forever, and I've got new subscribers. It actually tells me who they are. So this person has just subscribed, and I can now reach out if he's in my. So all these people, and if I click on see all, I can go back a long, long way. All these people And look, they're all second and third. Like, these people are interested in what I have to say. So
Yeah.
I've missed a trick by not connecting and reaching out to these people, right?
So connection that you can DM them from here too.
Yeah, some of them, because they've probably got open profile. So this person here is probably no, it's not open profile. Sorry.
And you can
anyway,
follow up with a lead magnet
yeah,
or
but
something like
I
that.
could connect, right? I could just go on her profile and go down here and connect with her,
Mhm.
and then send a message. I mean, I have Sales Navigator, so I could send her a message anyway. But even if you don't, you could do that. So yeah, I mean, these are hot
Yeah.
leads, right?
Yeah.
These are people that are saying, I want to read Adrian's long form content. So, I should be reaching out to these people and saying, hey, how's it going? Let's have a conversation. Let's see if I can help you. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys as well. I'm really sorry. I've got to get better at timing. In here, so I've got this custom GPT, LinkedIn Article Analyzer. If you go on here, you can just get the article, copy it, and I'm going to put it in the quick one, just auto, and get it moving. I'm going to paste it into there and put that up there. And what this is going to do is just read through my article and pull out a bunch of ideas, right? Don't use the hooks because they're ChatGPT and things like this. This is called an M dash, by the way. Never, ever in a million years post anything with an M dash because it stinks of ChatGPT. But anyway, but at least it gives me some ideas, right? It gives me 10 ideas on highlight app and email notifications. Like, it's pulling stuff out and it just saves me going through and thinking, what? And I can just keep telling it to give me more ideas until I find something. You know what? I can do a post about that.
How did you get that into LinkedIn? The article analyzer.
It's something I created. This is a custom GPT.
Oh, it's in oh, got it. Okay, it's not in
ChatGPT.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
in the resources, if you go in here, oops, it's in the resources here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And the last thing I should have shown you as well, there's a little checklist as well that I put in here. So this is just to help you when you do your own, just all the things that you want to do before you actually create your newsletter. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I need to get better at timing all this stuff. Question from tomorrow. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hi. Do you have a question? You got your hand up? I guess not.
If not, I have a quick question. Edits, after you publish your material, you realize that, oh, I actually wanted to say it differently, or this doesn't sound well, and you read it, and does it matter, or does it change anything in the way the material appears?
I don't believe it makes a difference, but I would probably, I mean, you do need to take into account that Google will index it. Now, that's not going to happen immediately, but once Google indexes it, it's probably going to be within a few days because it's LinkedIn. Then whatever was in the article at the time that Google indexed it is out there. That's what Google thinks is in there, and it might take another, 6 to 12 weeks before it re-indexes it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it makes that much of a big deal. It's like, for example, what I'll probably do, and I would recommend this as well, is I'll probably take a cut down version of this recording and actually put it into the article itself as a YouTube video. So what that's doing is not only giving me content for a YouTube video, but then putting embedding the YouTube video in the article, which potentially gets me more YouTube video views, and it gives people a choice. Okay, do I want to read this, or do I just want to watch the video?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good one. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Well, we're 20 minutes over, which isn't bad for me. Is there any more questions? Does anybody else have any more questions?
Yes, me.
So,
okay.
I'll just go really quickly, actually.
Yeah.
Adrian, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I'm really glad that I'm here, and your generosity also is just, yeah, I'm saying thank you from my heart, because I feel like what you've done, what you've offered, including the resources, is incredibly generous of you. Thank you. I've just started posting on LinkedIn, so I'm new at it. But there you go. So, and just a quick one to Dorota.
Yes.
One of the things I've noticed in using ChatGPT is that it silences your voice. I found that I will write something and it changes it so much. I'm like, but that's not what I was trying to say, you know? So I love the fact that you're foreign. English is not my first language. And I just, when I say foreign, you know what I mean? Like, English is not your first language. And there's so much beauty in that, because there's so much that you can bring, richness you can bring from your culture, that ChatGPT will try to make it Americanized, and then we lose whatever it is, that nuance, that beauty that's within the richness of your experiences and your culture. So I hope you take Adrian's advice on that.
Sure, I will. Thank you. Thank you very much for highlighting it.
And thank you, Abby. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Adrian, can I just ask one big question, maybe for next webinar or something? Once we gather some, nice group of followers, how to convert them into clients? I know there's a million of advices and there's strategies and funnels and all this nonsense, but how really using LinkedIn effectively and wisely can we spot, I'm not talking about large volumes. All I want is 2-3 clients a month that I will actually convert from my real followers, because they appreciate my content, my expertise.
So honestly, it's all in the DMs. The money on LinkedIn is in the DMs. And when you think about it, so LinkedIn, people across the globe are making a lot of money through LinkedIn, right? And you see these big creators who are selling stuff and look like they're doing really well. Whether they are or not doesn't really matter, but they are a tiny fraction of the amount of money that's being made through LinkedIn, apart from what LinkedIn makes itself. But I'm talking about business that's done through LinkedIn. Most of the business that's done through LinkedIn is done by corporate salespeople, and corporate salespeople generally have crappy profiles, and they're certainly not putting content out there. If they are, they might be resharing company content, but it's crappy content if they're putting it out there. But what they are doing better than 99% of other users is they're getting in the DMs and they know how to converse with people. They know there is an art, there's a skill to it. There's a skill to being able to actually know how to have a conversation with someone that enrolls them, that positions them as someone of authority, and gets them onto a call where they can be enrolled. And obviously it's a whole process. But if I were to do nothing else on LinkedIn, and we built 8 years ago, we built a 7-figure business just through doing this, just through DMs. And I know a lot has changed in the last 7-8 years on LinkedIn. Excuse me. And a lot of people have abused the DMs. So a lot of people have their guard up, but it still works. It is still by far the most effective way to build your business using LinkedIn or any social media platform, in my opinion and experience. Because no matter how much AI there is, no matter how much content people are putting out there, no matter how much noise there is, the bottom line is business is done through relationships from people to people. When you know how to build relationships with people, then your business will grow. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And
so it's about building relationship or being a good salesperson, because I have not a single bone in my body that, you know, could be called a sales bone. And
can you build relationships and build trust?
Of course, yes.
Then you are a salesperson, because that's all sales is.
My deals and my conversations always fall on the moment when, you know, the offer comes and money topic comes up and people say, yeah, great, I'll call you, or send me the message with your offer, and I'll send you my answer. And that never happens. People start ghosting. So I guess I'm not actually doing a good job with building that relationship. Maybe it was too early. Maybe it was not deep enough. Maybe there was something else wrong. But this is exactly my question. What is it that I need to learn to be good at it and to really start converting effectively?
Without reviewing one of your calls, it's hard to say, but
I know.
But my approach is the more valuable you are, the more of an authority you are in your field, the more respect you earn from your potential customers, the more likely they are to buy from you. And you know, I love doing these events, but I'm to be transparent, part of the reason for doing these events is because I know that if I give, I inspire, I give value, I build trust, and I'm not expecting anything back, but I know that at some point down the line, someone on this call will probably become a client of mine in some way, shape, or form. And that's great. And that's all I need. I don't need everyone on this call to pay me thousands of dollars. But if you want to, you can, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. But my point is, I help people solve a specific problem. And when I demonstrate that, when I give things away, when I give value, when I put myself out there, then people associate me with that value. And when they've got that problem, when someone has a problem, they just can't figure out how to generate leads on LinkedIn, and they're ready to solve that problem, then there's a very high chance they're going to think of me. And that's where, you know, that's how my business works. And it's how any business should work of this type. I mean, I would say most people on this call have a very similar business where we all need to generate leads. And from those leads, we need to book calls, sales calls, and then we need to convert those calls into actual clients. And in my opinion, experience, whatever you want to call it, by becoming that person of value, the go-to person, it just makes it easy, much easier, that when someone gets on a call with you, they're pretty much ready to buy. The more valuable content you can get someone to consume, the more you can give. And whether that's, you know, through so content, all content does is enable you to have more conversations. It's a one-to-many, but the follow-up to your content should always be, okay, identify the people that are putting their hands up and giving you signals that they're interested, and actually having a one-to-one conversation with those people, because that's way more powerful. Then you can build a really strong relationship. But the relationship building can start way before that if you're putting out good content. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Anna.
Hey, Adrian, thank you so much for everything you shared today. Speaking of content, my question is for that first article we post, for that first newsletter. Do you have any recommendation? Is it good to get into a little bit of details what people can expect from this newsletter going forward, topics that will be covered?
Yes. So when you actually create it, sorry, I just moved my desk down so I can sit down. I've been standing up a long time. Yes. So when you create it, obviously the title and you get a title and a description. So it needs to tell people what they're going to expect. And like I said, you can have up to 5 different newsletters. So you can talk about 5 different topics. Why anyone would want to do that, I have no idea. Personally, I think it should be just one, and you should do it really, really well so that you get known for that particular topic. But yes, when you create it, make sure the description does what it says on the tin. And again, think SEO as well. Always think about, I know some people are probably thinking, what is SEO? SEO is basically how Google sees things. So the clearer it is, and the more related to the topic that it is, without using any fancy language, the more likely it is to get found on Google. And that's what you want. So yeah, SEO first, but definitely it needs to the description needs to do what it says on the tin, basically.
And is there a limit on the description in terms of characters?
Yeah, there is. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, Anna. It's not that many characters, I'm afraid. Maybe a couple of hundred. I'm not sure. So yeah, you have to get it right. Yeah, it is it's worth putting some thought into it.
Okay, I did see that tomorrow mentioned in the comment that the mic was not working. So the question there was getting back to checking for old newsletters, whether links are still working, making sure that things are okay. Do we do this? How often?
Yes, it is worth doing that for sure. You just saw one of mine's broken, so I need to go back through. I mean, the problem with my newsletter is it's very much, it's about LinkedIn, right? How to use LinkedIn, how to do certain things. So it changes a lot. So a lot of my content becomes obsolete, unfortunately. But if you're like a coach or a consultant, you talk about something that's kind of timeless, then you're lucky really, because you don't have to do that. But yeah, it's definitely worth just going back periodically and checking that links work, especially if you know the articles that are getting a lot of views, the ones that are getting found on Google, then yeah, keep them up to date for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Clemency, love that name.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
I found it all very interesting. Thank you very much. I've got a question. I've been doing quite a lot with my sector. I run a very niche consultancy business. And I was advised initially to work with my own mailing list and to produce gated content so that I could capture email addresses from people as a marketing funnel. And yet I've heard a lot of people like yourself saying that actually to get more kind of eyeballs, you need to put stuff out for free. And a platform like LinkedIn's worked really well for me, just building up a following. So I've got this kind of little secret community of people that follow me via my website, which is a very, very small pool of people versus a fairly sizable LinkedIn community who I'm not really, I'm posting, but I'm not doing a newsletter yet, which is, why I'm on the call. So I suppose my question is about gatekeeping content in terms of capturing or building a mailing list, an emailing list, versus kind of doing it through the LinkedIn newsletter as an alternative. And I wondered what your thoughts on that would be.
Both. More is more. And what I would be doing is, using your LinkedIn newsletter to capture leads as well. So you could offer something. Excuse me. So for example, on my LinkedIn newsletter, what I may do is create an opt-in for people to get all the resources, right? Because there's a bunch of resources, all the custom GPTs and whatnot. People who make the effort to actually read the newsletter will probably want, and I can just say, hey, if you want to get all of the resources, just drop your details here and I'll email it to you. So I'll set up an automation, and then I've got those people on my email list also. And more is more. Some people are going to prefer to read stuff on LinkedIn, and some people prefer to read it in their email. So why not do both? But
yeah,
you know,
I'm thinking that. Okay,
yeah,
so that could just be a manual kind of agreed sort of message to say, I agree to receive your posts for going forward, or
well, what you would do is say, if you want to get this stuff, if you want to get all of the resources, click here, and then the click here link would send them off to a landing page. And on that landing page, you would have all that stuff: name, first name, last name, email, and I agree to receive whatever, the
yeah, I
GDPR.
already have that on my site, so I could just do what you've said and kind of redirect them over into that way. I think that.
But I wouldn't send them to your website. I would always create a landing page.
Okay.
Because a website, when you send people to your website, there's too much choice there, too much distraction. So yeah, I always do a landing page because it's just a lot more effective.
Okay, great.
I can't get my hand up. So after you talk to Ali, I've got a question.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead, Andrew. And Ali, well, actually, yeah, Ali, you had your hand up. So we'll go to Ali first, and then I'll come back to you, Andrew.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Adrian. It's been great. And thanks very much, everyone, for your comments and your contribution. At the beginning, Adrian, you mentioned about index linking from Google back to your website. And you said that at the end, you would explain a little bit more about how that works if we're interested. And I would be interested to know a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll show you that right now.
Thank you.
Andrew, do you want to see this first, or is your question burning?
Nope. I want to see that first.
Okay. All right. Let me just do that quickly. All right. So I'm going to have to go to a second. So cut a long story short, I'm switching websites. Let me go to my old website, which is going to be gone very soon. And find all right, so this one, for example, okay, if I just copy this first, I'm just going to copy this URL, then I'm going to go to Google Search Console. So the link is in here somewhere. Oh, maybe it's not. Hold on. Oh, you know what? It's in the checklist. Yeah, it's here. I will just put this in the list as well. Oops. All right, so if I go to Google Search Console, now you've got to register this. You've got to set it up. Okay, now I haven't been using this. I haven't been using the website, so it's awful. The performance is awful. But anyway, that's all good. But when you set up, you have to register for it. Okay, so you have to go through a small process where you basically verify that you own the URL and all that stuff. And once you do that, you can get this tool from Google. And then all you do from the homepage is here, it's got inspect any URL. So I'm just going to post in, I'm just going to paste in the, where was it? I'm going to paste this in. And then it's going to check if it's already been indexed. And it hasn't. The URL is not on Google. And then all I have to do is click on this button here, request indexing. And it's testing if it can be indexed. That'll take a minute or two. And hopefully it says, yes, it can be indexed. And if it can, it will be put into a queue, but it jumps the queue when you do this, because normally the queue is about 6 to 8 weeks, but you can shortcut it by doing this. So hopefully, oh, there you go. Indexing requested. URL was added to a priority crawl queue. Submitting page multiple times will not change its queue position. So basically you just need to do it once and they'll get to it when they get to it, but it has been given priority. Okay, so it's a good little trick to just make sure that you jump the queue on Google.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And do you then wait until it's been indexed before you publish this newsletter, or if it's in the queue, is that sufficient?
You don't have to. It's a good idea too, but it's not mandatory. But what you got to think is that LinkedIn already rank really high with Google, so they're gonna be pretty high on that priority list anyway. So it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's just for extra, so that you don't get flagged for plagiarism, that kind of stuff. But as long as you've made a few wording changes between the two different articles, and if you put that link that says view on my website, you're very unlikely to get flagged for plagiarism.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Andrew.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I really have enjoyed this, and it's been very, very timing because I've just started a global leadership education and training institute.
Yeah.
And that's going to have some educational courses as far and also I just got my website developed. So my question is this, because it talks about conflict management and emotional intelligence and leadership, because that's what I do. My question is that when I start this newsletter, do I do it on my company LinkedIn, or do I do it on my personal LinkedIn?
Personal, always.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then how do you convert? Because I get a lot of impressions. I got one that was 1,000 impressions in less than 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how do you get those? How do you turn those impressions and convert those over to either warm leads or sales?
Well, you can't.
Okay, that's
Not
what I was wanting to know.
directly. You've got to. The only way you can convert them to leads and sales is looking out for those signals that I was talking about. I talked about the 5 signals, and there's 2. It's actually 7 signals. So new connection requests, new followers, comments, likes. What was the other one? Profile views, opt-ins, and new subscribers to your newsletter. Those are the 7 signals for leads. You should be going after those people every single day, going out, like seeing. And when you first start doing this, you might find 1 or 2 people, right? Because you're not putting out that much content, things haven't built, but it will build over time. You'll get to the point where it's actually going to be 20, 30, 50, 100 people a day, and you won't be able to keep track, which is great, because at that point, people will start coming to you. But that's basically what you need to do. That you can't, you don't know who those impressions have gone to. You don't know how well they received them or how they interacted. So not much you can do. So that's why you got to go for the 7 signals.
Yeah, because I'm getting 150 to 200 profile views a day. So that's
well, you should be going after those people.
To at least to let them know that this is available, that there's coaching and seminars.
Reach out and say, reach out and start a conversation. Reach out and say, hey, I saw that you viewed my profile, thought I'd connect. You want to have a chat? I'd love to help you with something if I can. Just be human. Be rude.
And offer them a free. I mean, at least to let them know where my website's at, and they can go there if they want to know more and all that good stuff.
I wouldn't be pushing anything. I would be having conversations with people.
Okay.
This is the mistake most people make. People start pitching way too early, and you've got to think of LinkedIn as an in-person 24/7 networking event. It just happens to be online, but think of it as you meeting this person. If you met someone, you'd get into a conversation with them, you'd be curious about them, you'd want to know more. And if they were a potential client, you wouldn't start saying, oh, this is what I do, here's my website. You would do it naturally in the conversation when it came up. You would lead the conversation in such a way that they would become curious about that. So for me, for example, if I'm talking to a consultant, I say, so what, tell me what you do. Yeah, well, I do this. I do consulting for the companies. And I go, oh, that's really cool. Like, what sector is that in? And eventually it would come, I would build rapport, and the conversation would come around to, I said, what are you doing? And I was like, actually, I help consultants, and the way I help them is to generate leads on LinkedIn through doing this. Then I've earned the right to start talking about what I do. But the way to sell to people, and that's what we're doing at the end of the day, is build a relationship, be curious about them, actually get to know the person, keep it in context of what you do, but yeah, don't start just throwing your website at them and telling them what you can do and how much your services cost, because you'll just turn people off. But when you build a relationship and demonstrate your value, that you are a person of value, what you're talking about, you're an authority in your field, and it's actually something they need help with, well, that's a very different experience for them. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Janelle, I know you had your hand up. I'm sorry.
No, it's just I've got a noisy kid in the background, so I was waiting for it to quieten down. Just a quick one is in terms of the repurposing, I understand that your blog post and your newsletter can be pretty much the same thing. But in terms of email, is it kind of a good rule of thumb to maybe have it like a 50% of the content? Because often people will drop off on it. And also you don't necessarily annoy them if they've actually, got you on LinkedIn on an email, or do you not care? Just if they see it, they do, and if they don't, then they leave.
Don't care.
Okay.
And the reason is, look, different people prefer different media. Some people are going to like reading stuff in their emails. Some people are going to prefer to go to your website. Some people are going to prefer to view it on LinkedIn. Some people are going to want to watch a video, and some people won't care about any of it. But give people the choice. So the more is more. If you can repurpose stuff, it's would you, if something was truly valuable and you got a notification from LinkedIn to say, hey, this person has produced this newsletter article, you can click here and read it, and you go and read it on LinkedIn, and then 20 minutes later you get an email from them directly with the same thing, are you going to be upset? I wouldn't. I mean, it's just, oh, I've already read that, it's really valuable, I don't need it, but I'm not going to unsubscribe because I know how valuable it is, and maybe I'll wait for the next one. Or maybe I will unsubscribe, but I'll keep reading it on LinkedIn. So either way, you're reaching, it's all about value. If your content is valuable, people are going to want to consume it, and how they consume it is going to be their personal choice. So give them the choice.
Because also if they're in your pool of your network anyway, you're going to see the metrics somehow of whether they read it in the email or on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you won't get that good of metrics from LinkedIn. You get it from your email, obviously. But yeah, just giving them the option. You're absolutely right about metrics. It's always great to capture the metrics and measure what you're doing. But yeah, and that's why you should. All of us should be building our email lists. All of us should be emailing our contacts. Because what if LinkedIn? What if they cut you off tomorrow? What if they ban you? What if they just stop doing business? Then you've lost all of those people. Whereas if you've got an email list, you've still got them. But on the flip side of that, give people the choice. Give people the choice, where and how they want to consume your content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, well, we've 50 minutes over. Wow, I think that's a record for me. So thank you, everybody. Sorry if I've kept you, but thank you for staying. If there is any more questions, say now or forever hold your peace. I will be doing another workshop soon. I'll let you all know about that. I don't know, I probably should have said it earlier as well. We have a community on School. I'll drop the link to it as well, actually. So if you're not already in there, we put a lot of stuff in there as well. Let me just get the link. If you're not already in our community, you can join it there. And that is a wrap, I think. So thank you, everybody. I had fun. I hope you did too. I hope you learned something, because that was the idea. And I hope to see you on another workshop very, very soon. And I hope my newsletters that I'm going to be putting out regularly now are valuable. Have a great rest of the week, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.